Hey guys, Nat and Vanessa here from Believe in You Teens, and we are going to kickstart Mental Health Awareness Week 2020.
That's right, it comes around once a year, and this year we thought we'd get out a daily podcast on all things mental health. And today we're going to kick it off with kindness. It's one of these topics actually that I'm so passionate about in my life. Kindness is something we should all aspire to be a bit more of, I guess. I know I'm now a mama and I want nothing more than for my son to be the kindest human being on the planet. Everything else comes beyond that. Just if he's kind and a really good person, great place to be. Vanessa, what about you? Give me an example. What's been something you've done through your life that sort of shows how kind you are?
Well, it's one of these things, the job I do naturally is a lot around kindness. It's just listening to people and sort of being that shoulder for them to just cry on or have a bit of a vent or a moan. So that's one thing. And also stuff like the Glee Club experience, which some of you know we ran for 10 years in the end.
But did you know it was actually only ever meant to be 6 weeks? I went and sort of promoted it to the company I was working for at the time and said we've got this great idea, it'll be a 6-week thing. Yeah, 10 years we ended up doing it for.
10 years, and we met so many amazing people, didn't we?
Yeah.
And hearing their stories just made me want to be kinder to people in general, and it just brings it home that we're not all in the same situation.
Definitely. And I think you can really learn the value of kindness through the jobs that we do.
Yeah.
Because we all think we've got it hard at times, for sure, but actually there's somebody out there who's got it way harder. And I know that I come home a lot of the time and I'm really, really grateful for everything I've got. And that makes me want to be kinder in return, I guess.
Yeah, and it's also, totally relevant to this moment in time. This crazy stay at home, we can't go anywhere, everything's shut. We've never been through this, not one of us. So it's also going to be a very testing time for people to live normal lives and be kind as much as they normally would when
But
everyone's
also
a little bit more stressed.
to be kind to themselves.
Yeah.
We've had conversations, obviously away from this podcast, about actually self-care and being kind to yourself so that we all get through this period of time. It's so important right now. What do you think you've done, Vanessa, to be kind to you?
I just think being off work, which is quite strange for me as I'm usually super busy, I think just feeling that, feeling at ease with not doing anything. We were talking and I'm always so busy, but I'm actually enjoying having time off where I'm only doing limited hours and I'm enjoying time for me, whereas normally super busy all the time.
She's so busy that even though she's my sister, I literally would have had to have pre-booked via some sort of imaginary PA just to hang out and just be like, hey, how's your week? She'd be like, no, I'm gigging here, I'm gigging there.
I like being busy, what can I say? But that to me is something that I really, really enjoy. So being kinder to myself, I'm in a new headspace and I have to accept that I can't just go out and gig. I can't go out and rehearse. I can't do the things I once would do all the time.
Definitely. And the jobs that we do, we're so hot on promoting mental health and anything in life that you can try and do to keep a positive mindset and sort of grow as a person. And I think kindness is so, so central to that. I challenge you to be kind and then not feel good for doing it. There's loads of things that we try and teach as part of our school programmes, particularly about things like random acts of kindness.
Yeah.
Have you ever come across this? Has anyone ever done a random act of kindness for you?
Thinking back, I remember once when I was on a train when I was on the way to college, and at the time they wouldn't accept my bank card. I don't know why. So the train man was ready to throw me off in the rain at 16 years old at night time. And so luckily this nice businessman in front of me offered to pay my £10 ticket, whereas this train guy was so ready to kick me off at Tunbridge Wells thinking I was scamming him. And I was so grateful that I got home, because otherwise I don't know what I would have had to do. I would have had to ring my mum to pick me up from Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah, I bet she'd been really pleased.
Yeah, of course.
And you can't always plan for them. I remember also another random train story, but I was on a train. It was so packed. You know, with those trains where you can't even stand up, sit
Rush
down because you're
hour,
staying up.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was late at night as well, and it was all full of sort of party goers on the way home. And one poor guy, right in the middle of these crowds, had obviously, I don't know, had too much to drink or was just poorly or whatever, started throwing up all over the train. And do you know what? I was so shocked because everybody's reaction was to run away, and everyone was going, "Oh, it's disgusting!" Rrr. And actually, it was only me and some other random girl. We actually helped him. And yeah, I don't like puke at the best of times, but I just thought it was so unkind for everybody to just abandon that guy. He doesn't want to stand there being sick on himself. That's someone's son, that's someone's brother, and I couldn't really do much to help, but I could mop him up a bit. I actually took the headrest covers off the first class thing and mopped the sick off him a bit. I thought that was my bit to be kind.
Of course, and even if that poor guy probably did not remember the next day what happened, you know how good you felt actually being that person that was going to help him. I had similar once, again, in a kebab shop, and this poor girl just completely slipped and ended up with chips on her head. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to be that person. So I glared at everyone and I was like, if one of you thinks you can laugh, I thought, no, that's not even fair. And this girl was so thankful that I was like, right, I'm that girl that's going to big you up and be like, girl, get up and you can work this. And she was fine
With
in the
chips
end.
in your hair.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it was a complete accident. She just slipped.
Yeah.
So what were you meant to do? But I felt good for it, and I felt like if I didn't help, I just feel like that's something I could have done, and if I didn't, that was a choice I made not to help her, which
Absolutely.
I think is worse.
And these choices don't cost anything. It's like a real time that you can, I don't know, show that understanding for another human being, I guess. Chips on the head, puke all over their face. Or if somebody just needs somebody to talk to or somebody to check in with them about how they're doing, and for somebody else simply to listen. And at the moment with this COVID lockdown, there's some, although it's, you know, been testing time, my goodness, there's been some really positive things. So like the clapping on a Thursday, that's such a brilliant show of kindness.
It's amazing. And I also think coming out of this, we'll all be closer to our neighbours, which is such a nice thing.
Yeah, my neighbours know what PJs I wear.
Exactly.
That never happened before.
But I feel like, you know, in years past, people used to know their neighbours and there was a real sort of community feel, whereas in the last sort of 10 years, we've all almost been segregated because we've got phones, we're all too busy, whereas now we've suddenly been forced back together. And I love the community feel. I didn't know anyone in my road, and there's a lovely couple up the road that are about 85 that always wave at me. Me and my neighbour opposite, Beryl, are like best friends. There's a couple down the road that are karate instructors. All these people I never knew existed on our street, and that's a really nice thing to come out of it.
And I do hope, like you said, we do take some of these, I don't know, we've had to be a bit more imaginative, haven't we? I've left like cake on my best friend's doorstep just to let her know that I really miss her and I appreciate her and can't wait till we can sort of have our long chats again. And well, like birthdays, we've had birthdays in lockdown, haven't we? And we've had to be a bit more imaginative about the way you go about things. And I've made so many homemade birthday cards this year, and I've loved it. It's been amazing. I've been like artsy crafty, whereas normally I just wouldn't have had the time.
And exactly that, had the time and the headspace to do it, which is, you know, quite nice. That I've got, again, I write music, but I've had more time to focus on it now, whereas normally it would be extra for me. I'd go to work and I'd go to rehearsals and then I try and squidge in all the other things I want to do. So it's been really cool to actually just sort of wake up and think, oh, I can songwrite if I want all day. Or, you know, paint a picture.
Yeah.
Or play Scrabble.
Absolutely. So that's what we want to do, is spread the message that actually there's so many different ways to be kind. And like I say, not just to other people, not just checking in or, you know, listening or, I don't know, leaving cookies for elderly relatives or doing people shopping, whatever kindness is to you, but actually that kindness on yourself and your mental health, because anything that makes you feel good is ultimately protective against mental health issues. And that's exactly where we should be. That's what we should be teaching in schools. It's where we should be as human beings, is just to know that kindness comes first and foremost. Imagine what the world would be like. Can you imagine like Donald Trump and all these people if they're a bit kinder?
Oh yeah, man, China.
Yeah. we'd be in
know.
a far better place. You know, they wouldn't be measuring up each other's nuclear bombs and stuff. If they're a bit kinder, maybe Donald Trump will tune in and take a leaf out of our book.
Yeah, maybe he will be like, oh, this is great podcast, yeah.
Yeah,
you never know. I don't know, well, maybe Bojo might chime in as well.
I know, who knows. Anyway, we hope this has been useful. We'll put some tips on our Facebook and Instagram pages, just in lots and lots of different random ways that you can be kind. And like I say, if you've got a spare afternoon, you don't know what to do, try and make it your mission to be kind and make somebody else feel good, because I promise you, you'll feel amazing for doing it too.
Exactly. We all know someone that's alone in isolation. We all know someone that maybe is not allowed out because they have got underlying health issues. Think of those people and just think, what can I do? Even if you do post a poem through the door, or you leave cakes, or you call them up and just talk about all the fun times you had and what you're going to do when we get out of this. Because remember, guys, this isn't going to be forever. You know, we will come out of this. And even though the media maybe isn't as positive as we are, there will be a time we can hug our friends again, and we can go, you know, to cafes and restaurants and pubs and stuff, and we can actually live a bit more of a solid, normal, routine life.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic is going to be body image, which, oh my goodness me, do we have experience with.
100%. Lots to talk about.
We're not quite sure if we're brave enough to show you photos yet of all the different phases we went through as teenagers.
Awkward.
Yeah. Vanessa had some very interesting
Anyway,
hairstyles.
moving on from that.
Have an amazing afternoon. Enjoy the sunshine, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.